What's going on, guys? Jacoborth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas. Coming to you guys with a video today talking about 2022 in Las Vegas. So look, I cut myself earlier shaving, man, shucks. Talking about 2022 here in Las Vegas, and those of you coming to visit, planning your vacation, things like that. These are some of the times in Las Vegas that are going to be the slowest, then also the cheapest, okay? They really go hand in hand together pretty well, because when you think about it, when Vegas is busy, a lot of people are coming here, right? Demand is high, right? So that makes prices go up. So you come here when it's slower. A lot of you like to come here on purpose when it's slower because it's cheaper to come here, and because, you know, for other factors I've actually talked about that we'll get into in this video. So go ahead, hit the thumbs up button for this video. Whether you like to come to Vegas when it's slow, busy, whatever it is, please hit the thumbs up on this. I'm gonna help guide you guys through this for the year 2022, because some things could be a little bit different here in this coming year. So let's talk about this in general. Now, in a normal year in Las Vegas, the slower times pretty much every week are going to be during the week. And I did an entire video talking about really why you should come to Las Vegas during the week. And a lot of you actually commented in that video saying that, you know, you prefer to come during the week for things I mentioned. Like, obviously it's typically cheaper, right? It's not as busy. If you don't like crowds that much, you can come here. It's not as busy. You don't have to wait as long to get into, you know, restaurants, to make reservations, to get into nightclubs. You know, you get better seats. Sometimes you're going to see a show, things like that. Better spots on tours. Maybe you can get a better time slot on a tour. So all those kinds of things are a good reason to come during the week. Now, the caveat to that is if there's a big convention going on, right? So big conventions taking place, you're going to note in the prices, because you're going to look and you're going to try to see what these hotels are going for when you book your room. And you're going to see prices are way up on, like, you know, a Tuesday and Wednesday. You're going to know, why are the prices so high? Because there's a big convention going on, a conference or trade show or something along those lines. Now, that's the caveat to coming during the week. But generally speaking, during the week is going to be slower than the weekend. One thing you're going to want to know about too is when it's typically slower in Las Vegas is when there's like a huge weekend, say like it's a big fight weekend or something like that, or Super Bowl weekend, or the opening weekend of March Madness. Yeah, it kind of applies, because March Madness goes for several weeks. But, you know, the opening weekend is the big one. But when it comes to, say, Super Bowl, when it comes to big boxing match, something like that, a huge event like that, generally the following weekend is actually not that busy. So if you want to come like the week following or the weekend following a huge weekend in Vegas, sometimes you can score a really good deal coming on a weekend, actually, where the crowd's not as busy, the prices aren't as high, and that kind of thing. And of course, you still have the amount of entertainment options that the weekend provides you. So during the week, you won't have quite the same amount of entertainment options, but you definitely still have enough. It is Vegas, after all, to keep you busy. Now, another time of the year that is typically slow, like clockwork, is the holiday season, okay? And I talked about this in a video I did about the pros and cons of visiting Las Vegas during the holiday season. And when I say holiday season, I'm talking really from Thanksgiving to pretty much Christmas, okay? And you could even, well, now Thanksgiving to New Year's really makes more sense, because that's when really it starts to just drop off in terms of being busy here, in terms of, you know, the clientele who are coming in a whole lot. And that was actually when I came to visit here to find a place to live and place to work and all that kind of thing years ago. I came the week following Thanksgiving. That's what I did. I came like that Monday after Thanksgiving, because it was dirt cheap to come here. I stayed at the old Imperial Palace. I think it was like $19 a night. Stayed with some roaches while I was there. I had to get my room switched. But that's what I did, because it was dirt cheap to come here, and that was what I chose to do. So that time from Thanksgiving to pretty much New Year's is when it's slow. Thanksgiving is generally not very busy. Christmas is not very busy here. New Year's Eve is huge. That's one of the busy times I talked about in a video about the busiest times to be in Las Vegas. So New Year's Eve is huge, but really that whole 5-6 week stretch is really not going to be that busy. So it's cheap to come here. Now, be advised when you're coming here during that time that you want to check things like, you know, you want to check certain show schedules, the nightclubs, things like that. You want to check all of those, because that's when shows go dark. Certain nightclubs will go dark, and they'll close down during that time, during the holiday season, just because there's not the same volume of people. Also, you know, during that time, the weather's a bit cooler. So, you know, if you're coming during that time when it is slower, you're probably not going to get the crazy pool season that you're going to get during the warmer months and things like that. You know, if you want to come and see like the clubs all packed and crazy, it's not going to be as busy for that kind of thing either. Now, the other thing to remember too is, as you're coming during this time in 2022, sometimes that are generally really busy may not be as busy in 2022. And a lot of that still has to do with the virus and the impact that the coronavirus has had here on Las Vegas, on Clark County, on Southern Nevada, the state of Nevada in general, right? I mean, the U.S., worldwide, right, with the virus, okay? Because there are still some lingering effects with that. So, here in Nevada, we did, shut down for a while. We reopened without a mask mandate, then brought back a mask mandate. And then it was, if you were vaccinated, you didn't have to wear it indoors. And then it was, now everybody has to wear it indoors. And it's been this whole like back and forth, flip-flop thing where, numerous shows and conventions and things like that. Like EDC is, I think, rescheduled twice. NAB rescheduled in 2021 and then canceled in 2021. Now they're scheduled for 2022, for now. For now they're scheduled because, if things get worse with the virus, then, they may cancel again. And going into 2022, we have with CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, one of the things that they're doing is requiring that you show proof of vaccination. So CES, which is normally 150, 160,000 plus people, physically here, present, spending money on the Las Vegas Strip, that's probably not going to be, it's not going to be as busy. It won't be as busy because there's some people going to do it virtually, some who are just not going to come at all. So understand that, in 2022 here in Las Vegas, certain times of the year, certain events that would typically be really busy are going to be slower. They're going to be slower during the year. So for some of you, that might actually work out well because, again, you could come and it won't cost you as much as it normally would. So certain events, certain trade shows, certain conventions, that are generally like really costly to come and visit here to Las Vegas, that may not be the case in 2022. So if you want to come during those times, it can be good to come here during those times. Certain holidays you're coming here to Las Vegas. A lot of people ask about 4th of July and Halloween, how busy those are. Those actually, unless they fall on a weekend, they're typically not that busy here in Las Vegas. If 4th of July or Halloween's like on a Friday or Saturday, then yeah, it'll bring a lot of people. But if it's a weekday, nah, it'll still be, relatively slow. Maybe a little busier, but relatively slow. Other holidays that are slow here, Columbus Day doesn't make a big difference. I've never noticed it to make a huge difference. Valentine's Day is slow. Father's Day is slow. Mother's Day is slow. St. Patrick's Day, some, but it's not like, it's definitely not like New Year's Eve. It's definitely not like Super Bowl weekend, Memorial Day, Labor Day, that kind of thing. So there are your slower times here in Las Vegas. Summertime, there's not as many big conferences and conventions going on. That's really more so when it's like you get a lot of the college crowd because they're out of school. Also, you get lots of families with kids because, again, the kids are out of school. So that June, July, and August timeframe, you're not quite getting the same volume of people during the week as you're going to get from like a huge convention. You'll get people during the week, of course, but it's not going to be like, 4-day stretch is a huge convention that people are here for. And then, it dies off after that. Throughout the summertime, you're going to have families coming and going, college kids coming and going, other adults here on vacations coming and going throughout the summer because there's not like a lot of big, huge events in the summertime. So those are going to be what you're looking at as far as 2022 for slower and cheaper times to come here to Las Vegas. So that means your flight can be cheaper, your room can be cheaper, getting into clubs can be cheaper, show tickets can be cheaper, all those kinds of things, just because it's not going to be as busy, the demand is not going to be there. So during the week, typically, summertime can be a bit cheaper. Following a big weekend in Las Vegas, the week and weekend following, oftentimes is not as busy and it's cheaper time to come. Some holidays, like I said earlier, some of the holidays are not nearly as busy as you might think. And then at winter time, that holiday season from Thanksgiving to pretty much New Year's, getting all the way up to New Year's, that's a slower time. Not as busy, but cheaper to come here to Las Vegas. So anything you guys want to add to the video, please do so down below in the comments section. I appreciate all of you watching and being so awesome. That is going to be it for this one. I am Jacob, and look at this amazing sunset. I'm going to be signing off from here on the Las Vegas Strip on a beautiful evening for you guys here in Southern Nevada. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. I'm Jacob. This is My Life in Vegas.